Good morning, everyone. Let us start with day 42 of our regular SAP FICO session. Today, we have the topic of procuring the services in the P2P process. We know that there are two methods of procuring the services within Procure to Pay. The first thing is to input the manual GL for the services that you are procuring in the PO, and the second is by the way of automatic account determination. So, that is what I have mentioned here, wherein in the first part, you will put the GL account manually along with the cost center, and the second one, the GL account will be determined automatically, and only you have to provide the cost center manually. In these both the cases, we will not be using the service master, because if we use the service master, it becomes the same process that is used to procure the material, except the account assignment. Let's check the first process of procuring the services with the manual GL. For this, the first thing that we have to do is create the material group for services. Let's move into the system, and let's check the material group that I have created for the services. Under the logistics general, material master, settings for key fields, and here we have the material. And the material group that I have created is starts with RCI, so RCI services. This is the material group that I have created. After creating the material group, this is the only configuration that is required for services in addition to what we have done so far. So the first thing we will be creating the PO. Let me show the attribute of this particular PO. ME23N is the T code to display the PO. Let me show this. And here you see the most important thing apart from the header, wherein we have the org data like purchasing organization, purchasing group, and company code, along with the vendor. In the item detail, in the item overview, we put the account assignment is K, that is will be consuming this particular service against a cost center. This is the first part. And next is we are ensuring that the item category is D, that is for services. So once we have K and D combination, and we provide this, we do not provide any material master because we do not have any material master for this. We provide the short text what we want to purchase. We provide the quantity, unit of measure, and the delivery date, the net price, and the material group that we just created, and we have the plant. We're not putting the storage location because we do not store services, right? Yeah, so these are the details on the item overview. Now once you provide K with combination of the system gives you a pop-up to provide the detail of the services. So we are going to procure two services, that is power expense and fuel expenses. Okay, these are the two expenses that we are going to procure. So for that, along with the short text, we have provided the cost center. We have provided the cost center and the gross price, that is the 5,000 for power and 10,000 for fuel. I also told that we should provide the account assignment as well. So here you could see the GL account for the first line, that is the power, is 400 500, and the GL account for fuel is 400 501, and this cost center. So when we have K with combination of D, then it is must to provide the GL account manually along with the cost center. Only the thing is we will not require the material master for this. Now once we have created the PO, we post the service entry sheet as part of the next step, and the service entry sheet is posted with ML81. So for before we go and post the service entry sheet, there are some configuration which are required to be done. Number one is to remove the release strategy from posting the service entry sheet. I have done so because in our case I am the single person and I do not need any approval mechanism for posting the service entry sheet, right? That's the reason I have removed it. Let me show you where we have the path to remove the release procedure for the service entry sheet. So we have that under the material management. Under the material management, we have external service management. Under the external service management, we have the define release procedure for the service entry sheet and release strategies. There was an entry over here which I have deleted. So this way I will not require the approval mechanism for my service entry sheet. This is the first thing. The next thing is we'll need to set up the WRX because the expense GL will be hit from the PO, but what about the offsetting line? The offsetting line is my WRX, and we have created one additional GL. The GL account is 200 and 210, 200, 200, 210. This is the GL account that I have created and I have assigned. Let me show you where I have assigned that. OBYC. Going down into WRX and RCIZ is my chart of account, and here we have 200 and 210 without valuation class. Okay, because we have not created any valuation class for service material group because we are going to provide the GL accounts manually, and here without the valuation class I have provided the GL account under the WRX. So the expectation when the entry is posted, that we'll see now. To post the service entry sheet, we use ML81, and once it is posted, the entry gets posted for the GRN. Let me show that ME23N. You can see what entry has been posted by going into the PO history, and then here you have the goods receipt number. The goods receipt is posted after you post the service entry sheet. Let's go here, and you see the power expense has been debited. The 200 and 210 which is coming from the WRX that we just assigned is credited, again FIL is debited, and GRIR 200 210 is credited. Right now you may be assuming from where this cost center is coming. This cost center is coming from the PO because we have assigned the GL account and the cost center manually in the PO, and from the cost center this profit center is derived. So this is the entry that has been posted for this service wherein you provide the GL account manually in the PO. Now the next step or the next way to procure the service in the P2P is by automatic determination of the GL account. For that I have created two additional material groups which are for fuel and for power. Again, the SPRU part to create the material group is the same under the logistics general. Under the material master we have setting for key field, and here we have the material group wherein I have created for fuel and for power two separate material groups. So this is one of the part. The next thing, we also have to create the valuation class, because based on the valuation class we'll be automatically determining the expense GLs, right? Let me show you where we have the option where we have the node to create the valuation class. So we have that over here, and I have created two valuation classes. For one is for fuel, the next one is for power, and you see we do not have any account category reference because we do not have the material master for this. The next step is we will assign our valuation classes to the material group that we just created. So for this we have to navigate in this particular path under material management. Under the material management, going into the purchasing, and then under material master, and then entry aids for items without material master. And here you see for the fuel I have assigned the fuel valuation class. For the power assigned, I have assigned the power valuation class. Let's go back. Now the valuation class are assigned to the material groups. The next is we have to assign the GL accounts. Now if we are going to assign the GL accounts, to which account modifier we will be assigning the GL accounts, that is set in the account assignment category. For this we need to go into the material management. Under the purchasing we have the account assignment, material management, purchasing. We should be having the account assignment. Yeah, we have that here. Under the account assignment, maintain account assignment categories. So we know that in the PO we will be assigning the account assignment categories K, that is for cost center, and here we have the account modification is VVR. So then against this VVR in OBYC, for the GBB VVR, for the GBB and VBR for fuel, sorry, VBR for fuel and VBR for power. These are the two GLs that we have set, 400 501 for fuel and 400 500 for power. Those are the same GLs that we manually put in the PO in our last scenario. Now after doing this, so this is the expense GL. The offsetting WRX GL will be picked from the line which doesn't have any valuation class. This valuation class level account determination works for WBS especially only when the material master exists. If material master doesn't exist for the procedure or the scenario that we are doing, then the GL account will be picked from the line which is blank valuation class. Now with this, after the configuration of all those, we are ready to create the PO. Let's see the PO that we have created. /n ME23N, the transaction code to see the PO. Let's click on other PO, give the PO number that you have copied, and here we see the most important part is you have given the vendor, that's fine, and in the organization structure you give the purchasing group and company code, that is also fine. In the item overview, the change from the last scenario you have is you do not have the item category over here, you only have the account assignment as cost center, and again you provide all the details like you provided earlier, but the only thing is you will not provide the GL accounts manually this time. System will only ask for mandatory cost center, and this GL accounts is not put manually, this will be automatically determined from the OBYC configuration GBB VBR. Okay, now this is the important thing and the changes from last scenario to this scenario, that this particular GL account has been determined manually based on the valuation class now. And if we do not have D K with I, K with I. Then we do not need to post the service entry sheet. We do not need to post the service entry sheet as we did in our last scenario. So ML81 is not applicable in this case. The applicable T code is my go. When we post my go, then the accounting entry is posted for the GRN. To post the accounting entry during GRN, we must make sure that in the delivery tab, when we create the PO, we should remove this GR non-validated check mark, and also in the account assignment category that we are using, that is K, this particular GR non-validated should not be selected. Okay, this is the important thing that we have to remember. Let's check the accounting entry that has been posted as part of the GRN. So here we have the GRN number. Let it be open. It's taking some time. Guys, be with me. And yeah, it has displayed. Let's go into the FI document and see what document has been posted. Yeah, so here we have the accounting document that is posted. So you see the same entry that was there in the last case. The only difference is the GL account for 400, 500 has been automatically determined, and we have not used ML81T code for posting the service entry sheet. We have used MyRO T code. We have used, sorry, MyGo T code. Okay, let us close this. So this is all about the service procurement in material management. The important thing that you should know is there are two ways to procure material. One is manual GL, manual cost center. The next is automatic GL with the manual cost center. We do not need the service master. And if we need to create the service master, the process is same as material procurement. Now, we know that there was some configuration about the material group, valuation class, assigning the valuation class to the material group, right? And checking the account assignment category, wherein we saw that the VBR was assigned, the GR non-valuated was not selected. We did some OBYC, and the most important thing that we have to remember for the purchase of services through the procure to pay route is the GRIR account will always be picked from WRX without valuation class. This is the catch of the scenario. GRIR account will be picked from the WRX without valuation class if we do not have material master. That is what I have written here. If there is no material master, then the valuation class for WRX has no relevance. I hope these two scenarios of procuring the services pretty much clear to you. With this, I'm closing for the day. We'll meet again in the next session wherein we will check about the procurement process of assets for direct capitalization in the P2P process. Let us close for the day now. Thank you, everyone.